paper mache muertos or you know, whatever kind of sculptures I'm working with. I start with some sort of base, and then I make a wireframe from scratch. So sometimes I start with an idea, and sometimes the idea comes as I'm building. So then each one has its own frame that I start with. I teach, you know, kids to make these and others because they're really fun to make. And something that you can do with kind of whatever you have laying around too, so that makes it nice. You don't really need a whole lot of materials or experience or a bunch of money to start making these. They do just take a lot of time. I use a staple gun to adhere the frame to the base, and then from there you start building up. And so I use masking tape and paper, and I have lots of cardboard and things that I collect, which makes me look like a pack rat. But I use it and I just build up the frame. So here you can see that I've built this like torso and head up, and then paper, and then wound it around with the masking tape. So from here I would start adding strips of paper with the actual paper mache paste that I make. It's super easy. It's just flour and water. You whisk it together and you put it on your stove top, and it miraculously becomes this paste. It's mostly water. It's like 4 parts water to 1 part flour. I add a little salt and sugar, just like a pinch, to keep it preserved, and voila, you have paste. And I have sculptures that have lasted like 15 years. They're still fine. I kind of like the way it looks when it's kind of rough, and there's lots of, like, you know, texture, and it gets all bumpy, and then I look at the things that it says and it cracks me up. And other times I try to make it smooth and I try to make it polished, but I kind of like things a little bit messy. So anyways, so from here you just would wrap, and you would wrap for, you know, however long you want until you get it. And then from here you would move on to like this level, this stage, where you've let it dry for a day, and you add gesso, which is like a primer. These are some that are finished. They take several days to make. You have to wait between prime and paint, and the paper mache process. You have to give it time to dry, so it takes several days. And then all these little nooks and crannies take a lot of time to paint also. It seems simple. Every time I start, when I think, oh, I just need to get this, you know, painted, but it always takes a lot longer than I think it will. But here's some that have been made by kids that I've taught. This one was made by a 4-year-old. So, and it's just cool because you can still see the wire and how it's been wrapped, and it's kind of rough and cool, but it's all bright and beautiful, and it was a lot of fun to make. So that's pretty much my process on the paper mache.